managers and our revenue managers and our sales managers to kind of build networks and know who are the great people that are working for our competitors and who would we want to recruit in the future and nurture that talent in advance of needs.
I am joined by Natasha, Nagar, Head of Employer Brand and Talent with Kews Green Hotels, coming to us from Midlands, England. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Well, I wanted to be the first to tell you that there's a labor shortage in hospitality, and I don't want you to go out through your day without knowing that.
I think I know. I definitely know.
Wait, how do you know this? That's a mess, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really challenging. I think in hospitality, we always struggled. We were often perceived as, in some cases, a career of last resort. It's a place where people go, if they don't find a home elsewhere. And that doesn't mean that people don't find lifelong careers that they love in hospitality. But from an attraction perspective, we spend a lot of time trying to entice people into that initial career within hospitality. But with the effects of the pandemic and everybody being in the same boat with regards to Brexit and, the furlough period not quite coming to an end yet, it's, we're battling against lots of other industries that have also been, we've been disproportionately affected. So other industries have thrived and they've stole lots of our incredible talent. And it's like a perfect storm of challenges that we're experiencing at the moment. And it's tough.
Yeah. I didn't even think about Brexit, but that's a challenge. I'm in the States. I'm in Texas. I mean, we're having our own border challenge here that ultimately I think is going to impact the hospitality industry. I mean, we're having shortages. That's everything I read and hear. It's shortages everywhere. Well, to quickly tell us about Kews, so we get a perspective of you guys.
Yeah, Kews Green Hotels, the majority of our portfolio is based in the UK, and we own and operate predominantly hotels under Holiday Inn and Holiday Inn Express brands, but we also have some Hilton and Marriott hotels. We've got 48 hotels within the UK at the moment, but we're very focused at the moment on building our international portfolio. So we've expanded more recently into Southeast Asia and other areas, which is super exciting for us as a company. And when I first joined Kews Green Hotels, one of my biggest challenges was how we can differentiate what it means to work in a Holiday Inn or a Hilton or a Marriott that's owned and operated by Kews Green, because people often thought that you went to work for Holiday Inn or Marriott and that was who you worked for. So building that whole brand and what it means to work for us as opposed to another management company has been one of the biggest focuses for me since I joined.
Yeah, and that's what caught my attention on LinkedIn, some of your messages about that. Talk to us about how you've gone about differentiating so to stand out.
Yeah, and your employer brand, it already exists, like who you are and what it means to work for you, and your people are your biggest asset when uncovering what the difference is and why they chose to work for you as opposed to other management companies. So early on in my time with the company, I spent a lot of time with our teams understanding, okay, you chose us over other employers. What was it about our company that attracted you? Why do you stay? Why is it that you don't leave and go to other companies? And off the back of that, in a similar way to you would approach your consumer marketing, where you look at your sort of brand pillars and what's key for the audience that you're looking to bring into the business, we created the pillars as to what it means for us. And for us, it was, we wanted to give people access to training every day. We wanted to respect their home work life balance, and that we understood that people had lives outside of work, and something that's been really beneficial for us more recently with the talent shortage that we've experienced is we already had a real focus on people's mental health and supporting them in what is and always has been a really challenging industry, and we put a lot of resource behind that to support people. And then it was all about going out and finding the real stories of, how we've delivered that for our employees and how that has kind of translated for their career and their time with the company, and communicating that in as many exciting and innovative ways as we can. And we've been really fortunate that along the way we've won 11 awards for our approach to how we attract and we recruit and we retain our people. So it must be working.
Well, your background is white. I would think there would be 11 awards behind you.
Like I know.
On a shelf, proudly displaying.
I know I'm not in the office at the moment. We're still working from home as much as possible. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So the majority of my audience are on the revenue side, back office, revenue managers, VPs of revenue, sales, marketing. I mean, are you having any challenges there with talent? Finding them, maintaining them? What's going on there?
Yeah, it's really difficult across the board, but I feel like a lot of the work that we had initially put in pre-pandemic has put us in a good position whereby we took the stance that we didn't want to be reactive when it came to recruitment. So we didn't want to just push out vacancies and hope for the best and hope that we got the best talent. And, you know, in a similar way to with sales, you wouldn't just sit back and wait for prospects to kind of come in and come to you. You'd be proactive. You'd know what your competitors are doing. We went out and we, you know, trained our general managers and our revenue managers and our sales managers to kind of build networks and know who are the great people that are working for our competitors and who would we want to recruit in the future and nurture that talent in advance of needs and effectively build what we call our warm bench of talent. So at any given time, you know, we've done our succession planning. We know where people might be moving on into new opportunities. We know where we've got potential vulnerabilities, where we have a high turnover of team members. And what that means is, you know, we build that warm bench, and as and when the time comes for us to need to recruit, in often cases, we're able to draw on that warm bench in order to be able to recruit. And and that's really helped us more recently. And that is, if I can give anybody within that space any tips, you know, you might have a central recruitment team who are great at being able to support with advertising and recruiting. But in actual fact, it's everybody's responsibility now. And if you can go out and build those relationships in advance of needs and know who's on your, you know, your succession plan externally, not just internally in your business, you'll be in a much stronger position as and when those requirements come up.
I may be putting you on the spot here, but what are you looking for in on the revenue side? Is there anything in particular that you guys, a company your size, is looking for in revenue, sales, marketing people?
Yeah, I think like from a revenue perspective, it's that whole total revenue piece that's super important from us. For us, and generally speaking, people will tend to look after a diverse portfolio of hotels. They won't just look after a particular brand. So it's kind of important for us that people have got some of that brand experience, but that's not to say that we can't train it. What's more important for us is that, you know, people have got some basic knowledge and capabilities and experience, and then they've got the right core characteristics that will enable them to be successful. And a lot of how we assess people coming into the business is, do they live and breathe our values? If we can't train people into our specific ways of working, then we're doing something wrong. We're not living up to one of our brand pillars in that we train every employee every day. And so like collectively, that's important. Over on the sales side of things, we're a little bit more flexible with regards to where people come from. The brand experience is less important. It's, you know, sales is all about personality and that tenacity, and especially at the moment when things are super tough, you know, not being afraid to really go out and hunt and be proactive in bringing in that new business. And we're more inclined to take people that come from different industries that have different ways of approaching things, and, you know, bring with them different networks and experience. So it's quite broad, but we do really pride ourselves on our ability to be able to train people to all things Kew Green. So we try and be as flexible as possible.
Very good. Natasha, I want to thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. This was like super short and super sweet. So, but I've enjoyed it.
I don't want to take up all your time.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. I hope
No.
yeah, it's helped.
Yep, you bet. Thank you.